Hey everybody from YouTube. Today we're going to work on building a lean-to shelter to help you escape and evade into the wilderness and get a little shelter.
Welcome back, everyone. Just a short build list for you. For this project, you will need a few poles, 6 to 8 feet in length, a few feet taller than the tallest person, including a ridgepole. And over here we have some stakes, rated of 1 inch round. It can be anywhere from a foot to 18 inches, your preference. Some of the tools we'll need for this project are a saw, knife, and a hatchet if you have it. Again, some cordage, and some nice green saplings. Let's throw this thing together. Alright, here you see me grabbing a ridgepole, and I'm going to go ahead and wedge it in between these two trees. Normally you may not have this situation where you can do this. Instead, you would be able to lash 2 additional uprights. You can see how I'm pounding it in a little bit, just to wedge it in between the trees. And I'll go ahead and grab a few of these extra poles. This will be the base pole here on the bottom. There is the basic outline. A couple of stakes each. I'll show you how to make these here. Essentially, you take your round at an angle, just give it a few chops, and rotate it as needed. Think of it as sharpening a very large pencil. does not have to be extremely pointy. Here's another one. Okay, baby, I'm getting a little out of hand there. There you go. Perfect. And here I'm lashing one of the poles to the ridge pole. No fancy knot. Just a regular overhand square knot, I believe. Now that my clumsy hands are out of the way, you have a better view of it. You'll go ahead and lash the rest of the poles to the ridge pole. Just like such. And now we move to the base. We use our stakes to secure the base pole and the brace poles on top. Additionally, you can lash these. I chose not to, just to save cordage. And there's no particular order on the stakes, which way they go, as long as you have one, how do you call it, catty corner from each other. And I'll stake the other ones there.
Well, she's starting to take shape now. So what we're going to do is weave some of these bendable green sticks, saplings right in between here to kind of give a little bit more support. So you lay down some pine boughs or whatever it may be, get a little bit more structure to your shelter. So now we begin the process of weaving. As you can see here, it's a simple process of over and under. And it takes a little bit of time just to see exactly how they're going to fit. But once you do 2 or 3 of them, you start to get the hang of it. A good suggestion would be to have them spaced a little bit apart, about a foot or so. And this is just to give structure in between the poles here that you have for your main support. And later we'll come back by with either needles, pine boughs, whatever you can find available to give you some kind of cover. Now when improving your forest lean-to, you want to go ahead and take advantage and adding as many of these little sticks that you can find as possible to the sides. Large sticks, whatever you might have at hand, just to give yourself a little bit more cover. Alright, here on the inside, the it's wise to go ahead and, if you have gloves, wear gloves. If not, you just got your hands, use those. And remove any debris that's inside, sticks, rocks, anything that's gonna inhibit you from having a good night's sleep. As you can see, it's wise to take some of the ground that you're finding here, some of the debris, building up a little berm around the inside perimeter. That'll help improve your area and give you a little bit more wall on the inside, a little bit more insulation. Almost make it a nest, if you will. Get a close up there so you can see. Now if you want, there'll be little branches that hang down. If you can't weave them up and they're just in your way, feel free to go ahead and cut these and improve as needed. Save the little extra scraps for firewood or little kindling. Oh man, every time he cut into some bad wood, folks. I apologize. Take two.
Sorry, folks.
And next to the last step will be to constantly improve your shelter. There's a ton of these little pine needles around. We'll get some of these, some pine boughs if they're available. As you can tell here, the pickings are pretty slim, and we don't want to chop up any young trees just to use them. But if you were in an emergency situation or a survival situation, definitely use what's available. There's no reason to harm yourself just because of laws. I mean, in a survival situation, it's yourself first. But we're not in a survival situation, so use what you can use that's not harming the land.
And to give you a better idea of how the shelter turned out, we'll go ahead and take a little peek around. You can see they aren't the best sticks in the world. However, they will do the job. Keep in mind that your poles do not have to be perfectly straight or near as straight as these ones. We just happen to source these from a nearby area, the same part of the woods, and we thought it'd make a nicer presentation. In real life, I'm sure you'd be pretty hard pressed to find perfectly straight logs, but if you can get them, use them. Pretty well concealed for what we had. You can imagine how it would be better. You might even use a tarp.
Well, here it is, folks. The final version. It's complete. Just to reiterate again, if it was a survival situation, it wouldn't be as see-through as you see now. We just didn't want to cut down a bunch of pine boughs from little tiny trees and kill them just to show you a video of how well it'll actually be covered. Hopefully you've seen enough of these videos, you can understand that the more you cover it, the better cover you'll have from rain, snow to a degree. This isn't a shelter that's going to protect you 100% from the environments. It'll give you a little bit of a psychological incentive to persevere through the night and make it to the next day. Aside from a survival situation, just for the fun of it, if you're out camping, it's just kind of fun. It brings you back to the days when you were a younger kid making forts. It's really good to know. Hopefully this video is thorough enough. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we can improve it. Some tips and pointers of what you think would be better for somebody that's new to this and doesn't understand, something that you can pass along. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate you watching.
Thank you.